much? It's like 10 minutes-ish.
Yep, 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Okay.
About is what we'll shoot for.
Okay.
Kathy? All right, our Facebook Live, here we are. Guess the last episode number 8. Jonathan. We're rolling here. Okay, so I'm ready whenever you are.
All right.
Kind of.
Almost double digits.
Get that? Yeah, when you get into double digits, that'll be exciting.
Yeah.
That we've done something decent. 26, I think, is the first one that I'm getting excited for, right? Because then we've done it for a decent amount of time.
Yeah.
So, all right. So they do a quick intro, and they'll kind of count us, and then we're on.
Oh.
Okay, just wait for it to start here. Facebook, we're just waiting for the producer to turn it on.
And so we gotta finish one more thing. We'll start in about 5 minutes, right?
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Load it up. Okay.
Sip of water.
Good idea. Good idea. I noticed that I get more dry mouth as we get closer.
Well, I'm getting over a persistent cough and I'm so sorry.
That's not fun.
Well, I don't like weights.
Unfortunately, that is that in time, right? You just gotta go through it.
Get that out of the way.
Or yeah. Get all that out. So last week I was doing Facebook Live and I just had the phone just sitting there right near the Samsung sign, and it totally fell. So then all of a sudden you hear it, and all of a sudden then you just see ceiling.
Well,
and Devin was watching, and she's like, "I think your phone just fell." And we're middle of conversation. I think it was Ryan Nance who was talking, and so we ended up I just kept letting it keep rolling. It would have been too distracting to get up and go move it. So.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you hear television people tell about live TV, the things
Yes.
that have happened, and especially when they're out on location and it's like
Uh-huh.
a bull charging them or something.
Yes, yeah. Or crazy, crazy. It's the outside you have to be concerned about.
Oh, yeah.
Water?
Do you need a water, Kathy?
I got
She's one.
water.
Andrew, there he is. All right, my man. Jonathan's the producer. Did he grab your contact info?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Got it.
So he'll get it all teed up and ready to go.
All right.
So we'll have Kathy go first, and she's in the hot seat already. And then.
Yeah, so we're about to start. We'll Kathy will go, and then you're next.
All right.
We'll cut to commercial. You'll come in. It'll be about you got like 2 minutes to get in. So good time.
It'll be a quick
Quick
rotation.
turnaround.
Yeah. So just when you come in, I was telling Kathy. So when you will set it up, you'll speak about this far away from the mic. So it feels like, right, Kathy? It feels like you're eating the mic. It's just like, wow, I'm just on this thing. And then the other thing is, so 3 questions, kind of tell us your story, and then introduce yourself. That's typically how I say it. Introduce yourself to the audience, and then we'll see what's got you excited, and then why member of the Houston West Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
And that's how we'll roll. So I just noticed that for me, like sitting up straight matters, right? So if I slouch a little bit, then it looks like I'm fatter than I am. Or my neck all of a sudden looks like it's doubled up more than it already is. So it's awkward posturing, but it's just for.
It's like when they take your photo and they have you do it all.
Yeah, exactly. And that feels so awkward, but it looks really good. Well, I look so thin there. It's because remember they had you doing that?
And they had to go in it like that.
Yeah. That's exactly how it gets down. So it looks like, Andrew, you beat Devin, which is good. I know because she drives all the way from Richmond.
Ooh.
Yeah, she's a long ways away.
So, yeah.
It only took me about 20 minutes.
Yeah, it took me longer than that. I didn't factor in the weather.
Where were you coming from?
Stop Worcester, Highway 6.
Okay.
Oh,
So
bad.
I guess I was the closest, that's why.
yeah. Were you coming this way, Kathy? Like
I
west?
came, yeah, I came from the south. I just
Okay.
drove up Derry Ashford.
Oh, yeah, nice.
I'm
This
just,
wasn't too
I live off of Cook, so Cook, Derry Ashford, one block, and there,
Yeah.
that was it.
Unfortunately, rain does that to
Yeah, we're about to start. You can sit over in the waiting area. So, about to start. Good?
Okay.
We're ready.
Everyone's ready?
Okay.
All right, this is going to be a great show. I am excited. This is going to be fun.
We are excited as well, Jonathan. This
Very
is
fun. Very
number 8. It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good number.
All right.
That like it looks official.
I know.
Keep hitting my hand on this thing.
Transmitiendo desde Houston, la ciudad espacial, estás escuchando Now Media Radio.
Hello, everybody. Sherman on here from Mutual Omaha. Here we are on Guest in the West show. This is episode number 8, and we're very excited that you took the time to be able to come and listen to this podcast or watch the show. And so what we're excited about is the people that we have on today's episode. Kathy and Andrew are going to share their story. But first and foremost, we want to be able to thank those who make this possible. I want to thank Jonathan and also even Juan's here from Now Media, who allow us to come here to the studio to be able to bring this show and podcast to you on a weekly basis. I want to thank Devin and Karina over at the Houston West Chamber of Commerce, who are also very avid and they're the ones that really organize and make this happen. So we're thankful for all those that make this come together. I want to be able to reiterate the vision of the Houston West Chamber of Commerce is to be known and recognized as Houston's best and most active business chamber, championing the business growth and business success to promote West Houston as the best place to work and to live. And so we want to be able to thank our platinum sponsors. We have Abbey Residence, AC Plastics Incorporated, Allegiance Bank, Amerant Bank, Assurian, Chama Gaucho, the Louder Art, MD Anderson Cancer Center, Memorial Hermann, the Methodist West Hospital, Metro National, MHP, the Mile High Psychiatry, Richmond's Air, Phillips 66, Shaner, West Park Communications, Zocalo, and also the Kuderi Group. Hopefully I said that correctly. We want to thank all those that are our platinum sponsors, partners for the Houston West Chamber of Commerce. Couldn't do without you. Upcoming events that I just want to be able to highlight that's happening. This one presented by Amerant Bank. We have the West Houston Outlook, also known as WHO 2020. And this one's going to be a lot of fun. So this is Friday at the Norris Center. It's going to go from 8 to 1. There's lunch provided. And there's going to be 4 different forums that are going to be able to help those that decide to come be able to how to navigate when there's a little bit of a downturn in the economy, in the marketplace. And so one of the things that we like to emphasize here on top of the show is not only highlighting our wonderful members, but also be able to give you a reason why Houston is a great place to work, live, and play. So one of the things I want to be able to highlight is education. About 1.3 million are enrolled in some form of school in the Houston area. So from a higher education perspective, we have over 430,000 students enrolled in over 40 of our 2-year or 4-year programs. As mentioned before, University of Houston and the undergraduate program was recognized as having the #1 entrepreneurship program in the country. And then Rice University was ranked #1 in its graduate entrepreneurship program. And so we're very excited for those 2 main universities getting that recognition this last year. Also in Houston, we have over 50 trade, vocational, and business schools that specialize in acupuncture, art, law, healthcare, funeral, religious, and other specific disciplines that enroll over 20,000 students. And that stat comes from the National Care of Education Statistics. So I know for a lot of people, in order for them to live, play and work, they need to be educated. Not only whether that's for their children or for themselves, they want to be able to make sure that they can develop themselves professionally and personally. And so we want to be able to make sure that people are aware of the great universities that we have here, the great community colleges, the great vocational schools, and of course the wonderful elementary, middle school, and high schools that we do have as well in the area. So if you are not familiar with the Houston area, this is a great place to work, live, and play. And so we really appreciate all those that make this Guests in the West show possible. We're going to take a quick break first here, and then we're going to hear from Kathy Kirby and hear her story. And she's a wonderful ambassador for the Houston West Chamber of Commerce. And so we're grateful for her taking the time to be able to share her story today. But before we hear from her, let's hear a word from our sponsor. All right. Wonderful. You okay?
Let's see if I can print a cough drop.
Unfortunately, I do not have any.
Excuse me.
What's
Playing
wrong?
You're playing in the car.
Are you gonna be okay?
I think so. Ooh.
Morning.
Hey there.
Hey, Kathy, good morning.
Hey.
It's at the Ambassadors Club this morning.
That's right.
You're-
Everyone's got the badges on.
Do you need water?
15.
Do you need water? Okay, better.
10 seconds.
Okay, thank you, Jonathan.
That way you can watch it.
All right, everybody, Sherman on here with Mutual Omaha. Welcome back to Guests in the West show. We're excited to hear Kathy Kirby and her story. So, Kathy, why don't you introduce yourself to maybe the audience that might not know who you are and what you do?
Hi, I'm Kathy Kirby with Wine Shop at Home. I represent a wonderful company. We're a Napa-based winery in Napa, California. We are direct sellers of wine, and I've been doing this for about 10 years.
All right. So, a good amount of time. And so, what got you into wine 10 years ago?
Well, as I was telling you earlier, I went to a wine tasting and I thought, oh my God, this wine is so wonderful. And they were going to ship it right to my house. I thought that was great. So I did that, and I went to another wine tasting, and I thought, they have a wine club. They're going to ship me new wines each and every month. So I tried that out, and I thought, well, I got to try new wines every month. And then what happened was Christmas rolled around, and my brother-in-law was starting to get into wine. And so I ordered him some personalized wine with his name on it. Made me look like a rock star.
That's
and
amazing.
don't we all want to look like a rock star? So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, especially to those people that we've been giving gifts to for many years now. What a way to be able to give something to someone that kind of has everything, right? Where we kind of are maybe struggling with something. Here's a way to customize a gift to them.
Mhm.
And so then you got involved on the independent side. What do you do now as an independent wine consultant? Kind of share with people that, because that's a pretty unique role out there in the industry.
Well, what I do is I get groups of people. I have a host who hosts a wine tasting, and they get all kinds of host perks for hosting, and they gather 8 to 10 of their wine-loving friends, and we sit around a living room or a table, and we discuss the 6 wines that we're tasting, and we get to pair them with chocolates and cheeses. And they get to discover different flavors, and we even use lemon, which is kind of interesting to change your palate, and it's a lot of fun. And what happens is then they get to choose whichever wines that they fall in love with and have them shipped to their home or their office, and they get to enjoy them themselves. And it's just a great way to shop for exclusive wines.
Yeah. Oh, and then the nice thing as well, it sounds like then, is it's kind of breaking down this stigma sometimes that wine has, that it's complicated, it's a little more social, it's a little more simple.
Yes, exactly. Well, the most important thing to know about wine is what you like. And our wines have won over 200 awards now, and so we're very proud of that.
So just a few of them.
Yeah, just a few. We've never failed to win an award when we didn't enter, so
That's
we're very
amazing.
proud of that, yeah.
Well, and so there's a nice thing you mentioned, exclusive. These aren't things that like I can get at Walmart or my local liquor store or wine.
Absolutely not. So when you buy wines at those places, you have no idea how long they've been sitting on the shelves. When you buy wine from Wine Shop at Home, it ships directly from the winery to you. So
Right.
it doesn't sit on the shelves at all. And they're handcrafted and they're made in small batches, so they do sell out. So when people find a wine that they like, they tend to buy quite a bit of it. So.
That's great. And so then it's really cutting out that ultimate middle
Middleman,
person, right?
exactly.
Where it's sitting as an inventory from a distributor, then to a retail shop. And so really I'm getting this exclusive experience at really a nice cost.
Exactly.
Wonderful.
Exactly.
And then so now you've been a longtime member of the Houston West Chamber of Commerce and very active, right? For those of you on the podcast, Kathy is wearing her ambassador badge with her the purple ribbon underneath. And so she's an ambassador of the Houston
Right.
West Chamber of Commerce. So I want you to kind of describe a little bit about your experience with the Houston West Chamber of Commerce.
Well, this month marks my 9th year as being a member of the Houston West Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Yes, absolutely, and I've probably been an ambassador for about 8 of those years. So I'm very involved with the chamber, and I, as a matter of fact, was a ribbon cutting last night, and it's a great way to meet fellow people in the community and fellow ambassadors, and I'm also involved in another committee. It's called the BRC Business Resource Committee, where we bring business resources into Houston West, and it's been a great experience for me and for a lot of my friends. I've met a lot of friends here.
Yeah, and so for you, it's gone beyond the professional side of things. You've actually had some good relationships that you struck up with people.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one of our mottos for Wine Shop at Home is wine is social. So being social in the chamber is a great way to get into the mix of things. So.
Wonderful. Well, again, I know the Houston West Chamber of Commerce is extremely grateful for all the work that you do, and I know that Kathy, when we were talking at the break, you had mentioned that you're going to be volunteering at this Friday's
Exactly.
West Houston Outlook. So she is constantly giving of her time to the organization. So we really appreciate that. What's one thing that you're really excited about when it comes to the wine side of things that you're working on?
Well, they're always constantly giving us. We have a new wine label.
Oh, lovely, lovely. All right. Just in time for Valentine's Day, everybody. For
Yeah.
those of you on the podcast, Kathy's holding up, it's With Love. Is that the name of the brand?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and you can get a Merlot, a Semi-Seco, sparkling wine, Cabernet, or Chardonnay with this, and it's electric label, and it's very cool. You can
That
buy
is
one
awesome.
bottle or 12, so.
All right. And 12, is that a case?
That's a case.
Oh, so what a great way for those of you that maybe are in the giving this time of year. You have clients that you want to give something to, especially for, I knew a gentleman, he would do that for his widowed and single female clients, is he would treat them to something nice every Valentine's Day. And so what a great way to be able to make something a little bit more memorable.
It's
for
lovely,
folks.
yes.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, thanks for sharing that with us, Kathy. We appreciate you taking the time
Thank
to
you.
come and share your story here on the Guest of the West show. We're going to take a quick break, everybody, and bring Andrew on, and he's going to share us his story as well. So thanks again for listening in, and hear a word from our sponsor. That went really good. That's great.
Yeah, things have you just stop in front of me. Okay.
You look good out there, Kathy?
You look good. You did good.
All right, Andrew. You saw it happen. That's all it takes.
And I'm upset. He didn't wear his ambassador badge.
I left it in the
Sherman.
truck.
Oh, it's okay. You can still recognize him as an ambassador.
How loud do you need me to talk?
Pretty loud.
Pretty loud.
Pretty loud?
It all
Yeah.
depends on like your closest to the mic. So if you end up kind of sitting back a little bit, then just know that's going to come. And it's Horsley.
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 Yeah.
So I can say it like a horse.
Yep.
All right, awesome. Jonathan's just adjusting it so that way. So your camera's right there with your
Right, yeah.
picture.
Gotcha.
So I tell people either talk to me or talk to that little tiny camera screen. Yep. Talk to the big screen, then they're going to get your side profile.
Right.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so just kind of keep a knuckle away, and then you're good. And about 15 seconds.
Sounds great.
And 10.
Sit up here, do you want to sit?
Horsley home inspection. Horsley home inspection. Welcome back, everybody, to Guest of the West show. Sherman here with Mutual of Omaha. Excited to have Andrew from Horsley Home Inspections. So, Andrew, why don't you introduce yourself to the folks that might not know you out there?
I am Andrew with Horsley Home Inspections. We help people find out about that new house they're looking to get into. Let them know if there's any pitfalls. You know, any good relationship, you want to test drive it, we get in there with a test drive it for you, find out what's going on with it, let you know about it.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, right? So, buying a home, biggest purchase for most people their entire life, should have a professional come check it out. So, what got you into the home inspection business?
So I come from a very technical background of being in the oil and gas manufacturing side of things. So I have a really strong understanding of how things are built and engineered, but I also come from what I like to call is farmer smarts. So I'm not an engineer by trade, but I know how to explain things that an engineer comes up with into a way that people can understand. And there's more to just explaining things than dumbing it down. It's explaining it the right way that someone can understand. And that's what I really enjoy about my job.
Yeah, and so a lot of times then for you, going into a house, why would someone want a house inspection?
So the average person when they're buying a house, they're going to spend maybe 15, 20 minutes looking at it, looking at the layout, see if they like the colors and the paints. I'm going to spend 2 to 3 hours in that house looking at it. I'm going to look at things you're not going to be thinking about it, and you really shouldn't be thinking out when you're looking at a house. Does the AC drain right? Are the shingles in condition? Are they installed right? Is that glass in the shower tempered in case you fall down and break it? Things like that you're probably not going to think about that I think about all the time.
Yeah. Well, and then when you're doing that kind of analysis to that kind of detail, it requires you to be able to see all those details that the average person just isn't going to be thinking about, or nor should they, right? And that's the beauty of using a professional to have them come in and check out those things. And so a lot of times then when someone like you can inspect a house, you can identify things that maybe really should be updated, and that can then be part of the negotiation, if you will, in that the close, right? Is that kind of how people end up using the inspection that they get from you?
Yeah, that's often how it happens. You know, depending on the age of the house you're buying, you may have older mechanical systems that you can come to the deal and say, you know what, we'd like to have this changed out. That's kind of between you and your realtor to decide how you want to use that to bargain with. You might take the house as, people ask me all the time, did that house pass or fail? There is no pass or fail. It's only what you decide to love in that house.
And then what about if someone's going to sell their house? Is it valuable for them to have an inspection to see what kind of inadequacies there might be in their current home?
You know, that's a great option. You can have your house pre-inspected before you list it. If you look at, people get sketchy with that and they think that's going to be a negative. But if you look at it, they're going to have that house inspected any way you slice it.
Yep.
So you're going to go through the option period, you're going to put a contract in, you're going to tie up that house for a couple of weeks, then they do the inspection, then they find something that scares them off. Versus you can come with that to the table and say, these are the issues already, we're fixing this one, we're going to leave this one the way it is. This is what you're getting, this is what it's going to be. You can bring in another inspector, but they're going to find the same thing. And that way you're taking all that unknown variable out, and you're controlling the transaction the whole way through as the seller.
And so a lot of times then from that inspection perspective, does it allow someone, let's say they've lived there for 20 years, does it allow them then to know that, hey, I might be a little bit dated on some of the things that I have, and it brings it maybe to fruition that, hey, let me update that first before I put it out in the market?
It sure does, especially things like air conditioners. If you have an older unit that's on the older Freon style, there's really no point in fixing it. You're better off just replacing the whole system because it's so expensive to fix it. And that's going to be a big turnoff because it's Texas. It's hot all the
Yes.
time. We use ACs all the time.
Yeah, I was literally using my AC last night. Outside it was like 55 degrees, so it does. The heat just permeates our community. And so, do you give the advice then to the person that's decided to have the inspection done, the buyer or the seller, to be able to make sure that hey, what's my trade-off here, right? So, for your example, I need to replace if I'm going to buy this house and you say, hey, that's a pretty old AC unit, probably needs to get replaced. I could then either buy it myself or I could put that as part of my agreement to buy the house so long as that thing's been replaced.
Yeah, so the best way to look at a home inspector is we're like general physicians for your house. You go in the doctor for a checkup and says, Sherman, I feel this lump on your throat. I think we need to have that checked out. That's definitely something we should look at. I know enough about the human body to point you in the right direction to the right specialist. I'm the same way with the house. I get in there, I know enough about all the mechanical systems and the building sciences to go, we need to have this air conditioner looked at. It's not working right.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you exactly what's wrong with it because I'm not a licensed air conditioning specialist, but I can tell you there's definitely a problem and you should have it looked at because that can be a big expense.
Gotcha. So you can really help orchestrate to the professionals that they need to reach out to.
Exactly.
Perfect. And so I know that you're been a member of the Houston West Chamber of Commerce. The nice thing is that Andrew is also an ambassador with the Houston West Chamber of Commerce, left his badge in the truck. Now, it wasn't a requirement, just so you know, if those listening on the podcast or show, it wasn't a requirement to wear that today. So tell us a little bit about why you decided to be a member of the Houston West Chamber of Commerce.
Well, first of all, it's one of the friendliest chambers I've ever visited. Second of all, the chamber is great. If you've ever lived in a small town, everybody knows you. Well, we live in a big town of a couple million people, which is great for opportunity, but it's hard to be known. And what the chamber does is it makes a big town into a small town because there's a group of people that are going to get to know you. I know what you do, you know what I do. I'm always on the lookout for someone that might need you, and the people in the chamber are always on the lookout for someone that needs me.
Yeah, that's great. And is there anything that you're kind of excited about that you're doing over there at Horsley Home Inspection that you want to be able to make sure that the audience is aware of?
We're excited for the summer season. A lot of people like to move in the summer, so we're excited to get there and look at different houses, and we get to see something new every day, and we never know what we're going to find.
That's wonderful. Well, great. Now, Andrew, if for those that are listening on the podcast, what's the best way for them to be able to get in touch with you, either a phone number or email address, and just spell it out for those that are listening?
Best phone number to contact me is 713-732-7149, and it's Andrew, ANDREW, at HORSLE homeinspection.com.
Wonderful. Well, thanks again for taking the time, Andrew, to share your story here on the Guest in the West show. For those of you that are members of the Houston West Chamber of Commerce, remember, you can always find Kathy and Andrew by going to the hwcoc.org and go to member and the online directory, and you can either search them through their business or their contact information in the search bar. So it makes it very easy for us to be able to reach out to various members, especially when there's different needs that we have, that we can connect them. Just like as Andrew mentioned, his role is to be able to diagnose what's going on in the house. What a great way he can open up his own personal network and professional network for those that need that kind of assistance. So really excited for what's going on. I want to thank again Jonathan and Juan here on Now Media Studios and making this available to us to be able to present and share the stories of our members here at the Houston West Chamber of Commerce. I want to thank Kathy and Andrew in sharing their story with us and taking the time to be able to do that this morning. And again, lastly, I want to thank Devin for all our hard work over at the Houston West Chamber of Commerce and helping organize this and make it happen. So thanks again, everybody. We appreciate you listening, and that's a wrap. Sherm's out. All right, man.
All right.
That went great.
Thank you. Trying to avoid the filler words, man.
That's perfect. Perfect.
You really messed up though being on video because now you have to dress up every time.
That's right. Luckily, I enjoy the dress up.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, thanks for listening here on the Facebook Live. Hope you're all doing great. Janice, watch the replay. Appreciate you watching. Let's see, Jeffrey, thank you. Let's see. So thanks, Janice. Thanks, Jeffrey, for watching. Chelsea, good to see you. Devin, Peter, Karina, Jeff Miller, Patrick, Ben, Zorena, Manmeet, Ed. Hey, good to see you, Uncle Ed. And then, of course, Daniel, Tyler. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed Guest in the West show. We'll see you next week. Sherm's out.